November the 25th was White Ribbon Day to mark ending violence against women and girls. It is followed by 16 days of action around gendered violence. This includes a number of Reclaim the Night demonstrations. Reclaim the Night had its origins in Leeds in 1977, when Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, was on the rampage, killing 13 women, including sex workers. The police instructed women to stay away from public spaces at night. In response to this, the first Reclaim the Night march was organised. The Reclaim the Street marches mobilise against street harassment and sexual violence, and to reclaim spaces that are seen as off-limits to lone women. Violence against women is expressed not just in sexual harassment in the street, in the workplace and in educational establishments, but in domestic violence, which affects 1 in 4 women and is the cause of many women's deaths. It is expressed on the internet with the distribution of sexually explicit images known as revenge porn. Many young men grow up believing that it is quite all right to abuse and humiliate women sexually because of this. Above all, it is expressed in times of war when mass rape, physical and psychological abuse by armed forces is used to intimidate, humiliate and control. In times of war, women face this as well as displacement, with their children being the largest group in refugee camps around the world. In addition, we have the genocide in Gaza, where so far around at least 11,000 children and counting have been killed, and pregnant women have not been able to get the services, treatment and medication they need to safely deliver babies. As a result, maternal deaths have increased, and there have also been hospitals being deliberately attacked by the IDF, resulting in the deaths of children and babies, including those newborn babies whose incubators were denied power due to the attacks, and they were left to die. The genocidal onslaught has also resulted in a rise in miscarriages, stillbirths and premature births. We've also got the rise of transgender hate crimes, which rose by 11% in the year to March 2023. This was their highest rate since figures for these crimes were first recorded in 2012. Since October 2022, nearly 5,000 hate crimes against transgender people have been recorded, and of course the vast majority of these victims are trans women. Rampant sexism, bigotry, exploitation and violence have been perpetrated by officers in every police force in the UK, although the Met has received the most critical publicity. How is it acceptable that the so-called guardians of law and order are consistently the perpetrators of misogynistic violence? Rape, murder and sexual harassment of women have been regular activities of police officers for a very long time, and the authorities and media say, "Oh dear, how terrible," and nothing changes. It is starkly expressed under theocratic regimes like Iran and Afghanistan. Here the adoption of Sharia law has led to the practice of child marriage, a form of violence against girls. Girls escaping this situation have been shot and killed. Sexual violence is used in Iran against female prisoners arrested in the recent waves of protest against the regime. We cannot forget the murder of Mahsa Amini and Amita Gharavand by the morality police. In India too, there have been horrific rapes and murders of women, leading to the development of protest movements. In Uttar Pradesh, 400,000 women have taken part in the Gulabi Gang to defend women against male violence by direct action. The struggle against the patriarchal system has brought about the growth of movements in reaction to these horrors on a global level. Patriarchy is intimately entwined with and predates capitalism and imperialism. It must be fought. In all these areas of violence against women, we must support women's struggles for safety and for self-organisation to collectively defend themselves. This might be in women's groups within unions at the workplace, in local mutual aid groups, within domestic abuse and rape support groups, migrant or refugee support groups, housing campaign groups, or wherever women can gather to defend themselves. There can be no libertarian communism without women's liberation, and there can be no women's liberation without libertarian communism. Thank you for listening, everyone. All the best.